bringing Gator Nation a different Gator great every episode.
This is Jabari Gaffney, and you're listening to the All for the Gators podcast.
Hey, I'm Rita Anthony.
This is Kewan Ratliff.
Hey, I'm Carlos Alvarez.
This is Jeff Dempsey.
This is Ricky the Rocket Natil.
This is Brandon James.
This is Cedric Faison, a.k.a. C4.
This is Taylor Jacobs. Go Gators.
This is University of Florida Gator great Lewis Oliver. Lock us in, guys.
Hey, I'm Earl Everett. If you're not a Gator, you're Gator baby.
Only Gators get out alive.
Hello, this is Eric Ritt. Go Gators.
Hi, this is Ernest Graham.
This is Chris Doring.
This is Jaden Ball.
Hey, this is Trace Armstrong.
This is Brad Culpepper, and you're listening to Best Podcast on the Air.
Hey, guys, this is Jarvis Moss.
You're either all for the Gators or you're not.
Go Gators.
You're rocking with Lito Shepherd, and we're all for the Gators podcast, man. Top notch.
And now, your Gator alumni hosts, John, Andy, and Sid.
And we're live. Here we go. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to spin the big wheel. Who wants to spin it? Whatever it lands on is going to be our topic for the intro.
Ooh.
Hey.
It reminds me of UHF classic Wheel of Fish, for those of you Weird Al fans out there. I know. Very niche audience.
I think that's the only movie I ever walked out of. UHF.
Oh, UHF. It had its moments. That was Kramer loving a mop before he was Kramer.
All right. So, okay, Andy, spin the wheel.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
You got Vanna White doing the spin for you?
It doesn't have any clickers, so you can't hear it.
Guys, there's not really a wheel.
It's really spinning right now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was just making it up. Here it is, though. It landed on retirements. We got 2 announced as of us recording this show today. Big one, Lee Corso of College Game Day, ESPN's College Game Day.
The old coach.
Calling it quits. Yeah, I don't know how many years he had, but it's a lot. And Kadarius Toney calling it quits in the NFL.
Oh. You know what? I think Lee Corso's might be more elective, more by choice. Maybe someday could
he's going to be 90. He's going to be 90 when he retires. He's earned it.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, don't you get the feeling if Kadarius was a little better with the hands and there was a team offering him a contract, he might not be retiring? That might be,
I can't believe he's still young.
I know.
He was so explosive at our school. He looked good with the Giants as a rookie too. He just really hasn't found his footing since. And it's not like he hasn't had good quarterbacks throwing to him. I don't know.
He's going to go pursue his rap career. Young Joka.
Nice.
So, best of luck to Kadarius Toney.
So Lee Corso had a 4-decade career with Game Day.
Do you guys have any favorite Lee Corso moments, or is it just all the normal? You know, we all grew up watching him on Game Day. It was like religion. You had to see Corso in his pick at the end of the show.
He had the baby alligator when he picked Florida one year. That was pretty cool. But I did always like when he dressed up as the Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. Like the
Irishman.
The leprechaun? Yeah, that was always good.
I think in honor of Corso in the intro today, John, you gotta get a not so fast.
I'll try to work it in. How about that?
Yeah. Gotta get that in there.
So who's our guest that you're going to work that in for, Johnny?
Guys, today's guest is a true Florida Gator. I'm talking loyalty, honor, pride, donning that orange and blue. He played for all 4 years. Will we ever see that again? He came out of the great state of Michigan, where at Farmington High, he had over 100 tackles every season, a bunch of rushing yards and touchdowns too, but he capped off his prep career with 138 tackles and was selected to the 2015 Detroit News Football Dream Team. He committed to Michigan, but not so fast. Like that? That's in honor of Lee Corso.
You
got it in there.
Who announced his retirement from College Football Game Day today. See, the story goes, Michigan didn't have early enrollment, so he traded the Great Lakes for the swamp. And as a Gator, he would go on to become one of the most prolific linebackers in the history of the program. His 324 career tackles ranks just outside the top 10 all time. Think of all the monster, not just linebackers, but defensive cogs that we've had over the years, and he's near the top. He's also only the 3rd linebacker to record a 100 tackle season. Gator Nation, I give you three-time team captain, 3-time All-SEC and All-American with number 33 on his chest, now the quality control coach for edge rushers for your Florida Gators, Mr. David Reese II.
All right.
How you doing?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, David. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, welcome.
I know, no doubt. I appreciate that intro, man. Got me fired up a little bit.
David, so cool to have you on with us today. Thank you for taking the time.
Of course, anytime, man. Anything for Gator Nation, man.
So you're from Michigan. You're probably a little too young for the Barry days, but were you a big fan of those Megatron Lions?
Of course, of course. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely was, man. I always watched Florida growing up, man. Everybody was a fan of Tim Tebow, man. How could you not be?
Sure.
Of course.
Everybody was a fan of Tim Tebow back in the day.
So when did you get a football in your hands? Who was kind of your inspiration to start playing football?
So, man, it had to be my dad, man. So my dad played at Michigan State. I thought I was going to be a Spartan growing up. That didn't pull through, obviously, and for great reasons. God just steered me in the right path in a different direction. But my dad, I give it all to him. He was a high school coach at a school called Southfield High. He was actually my principal too, and I've just been around it all my life. I had a football in my hand probably at the age of 3 or 4.
Big guy. Are you just trucking everyone over at the park? Like, how
Yes,
old
sir.
were
Yes,
you?
sir. And I played quarterback. And I played quarterback. They used to call me Brian Leftwich back in the day. I played
There
quarterback.
you go.
Yes, sir. I was a big quarterback out there that used to like to hit people, man. And then, I just got into my natural state coming to high school.
So like many of our guests, you played like as an all-around athlete. You played both ways in high school.
Yes,
You even
sir.
blocked 5 field goals. Did you have a favorite position? Did it become linebacker?
Yes. Yeah. I love to hit people. I love contact, man. I had a natural instinct for it, and I also love running the ball too. But linebacker and running back are pretty much the same things, and I feel like my quarterback background back in the day helped me become a better linebacker. Just leading the guys and leading the team. Linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. You know what I mean?
So were you like just an angry kid? You just like hitting people, or was it like
No,
the
man.
physicality
I
of
was
it?
always, I was always a vocal leader, and I just love the game, and I just love
Okay.
ball, man. And that was always my escape from stuff. My escape from school, and
Sure.
it's the thing I like to do the most. And that's still to this day, still true to this day.
When did you kind of know you had the talent? Did you know like, at some point where like, wait a minute, I'm like better than everybody else out on
So
this field?
so yeah, and it didn't come from just talent yet alone. It came from our working people. I just knew I was willing to put in those hours that others weren't, and that led me to just change who I was as a person. So I knew I was confident that hey, I'm grinding and everything, and I enjoyed the grind. So it made it like, hey, you didn't put in these hours. I had that confidence. You know what I mean? It came from like hard work. So that's where that stems from.
Just outworking everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, John mentioned you flipped from Michigan to Florida because of early enrollment. You don't really hear that very often. What was kind of the deal with
So
that?
they had a couple guys that they wanted to get there early, and shoot, no doubt to them, like those guys turned out to be great players also too. But they had guys that they allowed to transfer there early. For some reason in the Big Ten they had a rule about how many, or like when it first happened, because early enrollment was new. It was like they had a number of guys they could let do that. And then when I wanted to do that, it was like, hold on, we got to see if we got a number. So then that hesitation made me open up my recruitment.
Okay.
And when I did that, and that's when I started rolling, and then I met Randy Shannon and McElwain, and those guys were great to me and still are. You know what I mean? So
I got to ask about number 33. So, with your running back background, did you choose that number in hopes you get to play both ways, or what's the story behind that?
No. So I'm a big 3 guy. I believe all great things happen in threes. I love 3 to death. And that's been my number since Little League. So always 3, and I couldn't get 3 at the time. We had a great guy promised 3 already, so I got 33.
What position were you recruited for at Florida?
Linebacker. Every other
You were?
everything was linebacker for me. I just ran the ball a lot in high school, and Michigan actually talked, oh, let's make you go both ways. I didn't want to do that. I was true to being a linebacker, and that's what I wanted to do.
Was there any other schools recruiting you that you almost went to, or was Florida kind of it once you decided not to go to Michigan?
It was either when it came down to it, it was Florida or Texas.
Okay.
When it came down to it, I took trips to Nebraska and TCU, but in my mind, it was Florida or Texas.
So what brought you to UF?
The culture, man. I felt like I fit in. It was a great coaching staff there, and then Florida was a place where it were people like me, like just built out of hard work. Like at the time, unlike now, like Florida didn't have all the great facilities and everything. It was guys that played SEC ball, played at the highest level, and were just hardworking, gritty dudes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what fit me. They had Jared Davis there, Alex Angelone, and those guys are studs. You know what I mean? Still to this day, those guys are my brothers, and still doing great things in life. So it just felt like home, man.
Well, let's talk about those guys for a second. When you get to campus, It's Coach McElwain's second year. Tell us about that first time you walked into the linebacker room and Jared Davis is there and Anzalone, like you said. What's going through your head?
I was just ready to learn. I was just ready to learn and compete for that number 2 spot. I knew not to take anything for granted, but like grinding is basically all I knew, man. And Jared and Alex were built from that same type of cloth. So it was easy for us to get along and we clicked right away. And he kind of took me under his wing, and it was a standard that wasn't broken, and just knowing that standard helps you just fit right in line. And I knew I was competing to uh, get to their level, basically, to not only get to their level, but like for the team. Like it was just a standard for the team, and a standard set by those guys. They did a great job of having senior leadership.
So there was no talk of redshirting you at all?
No sir, no sir.
Okay.
You get to run out of that tunnel in the swamp as a true freshman. What was that like, running out of that tunnel for the first time in the swamp?
It's kind of funny. So like high school, it's a little build up before the game. College is like, okay, you go out and stretch, and then you hear a countdown, 3, 2, 1. So you're like, oh, are we going now? Like, when do we go out? And then it's like, okay, oh snap, it's now. Like, this is real, this is happening. Let's go, let's do this. So, and it's just amazing seeing our fans, man. Gator Nation, they're the best, man. Filling out that thing, man, 90-something thousand. It's the best. The energy on the field is amazing, and that's a place where we don't lose, and we're looking to do that same thing this year. Like, we're not going to lose in the swamp, and we've made an emphasis on that. Napier has done a great job with that, and we just bring that back. We don't lose at home, man. Gator Nation's too good to
I
us.
like to hear that.
We love our fan base, and we don't lose in the freaking swamp. You know what I mean?
There you go. Bring it back.
Mentioned that freshman year, you get in 12 games, you have your first start in week 9 versus South Carolina, and all you do against the Cox is lead the team in tackles with 11. What do you think attributed to your success so early? I mean, lots of guys talk about how important it's getting reps in practice and playing behind players, but you came out flying right out of the gate. How did that happen?
It was just my preparation, man, and like I said, Jared and Alex took me under their wing. Coach Shannon did a great job of keeping us prepared and letting me know, hey, bro, you're going to play. Like, start to drive off. Even this game, if I only got a couple snaps, start to drive off, get your feet wet. We always knew we had to depend on, all our guys. And basically, I prepared to if I had to play every game. So even if I didn't get enough snaps, I practiced hard as if I did. You know what I mean? So just that preparation and practice was harder in the games. And that's the key. You got to make practice 10 times harder in the games. And so when you get out to the games, you just revert back to what you know. You know what I mean?
When did you find out you were going to start? Like, how early in like the practice? Was it spring, or did you just like? How does that work? How do you kind of find out you're?
I think Jared Davis got hurt. Right?
Jared got hurt.
Yeah.
Jared got hurt. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jared got hurt, and I was just ready to be the next man up. That's all that happened. I was a 2, just hungry. And Jared used to, man, he used to buy. So we have this thing. You guys probably know about Bento Cafe, man. So Jerry used to buy me bento all the time. He give me a teriyaki bowl with some brown rice, man. And every day we'll go over the film and stay late and put in the extra work. But he got hurt, unfortunately, man, and he hurt his ankle at the time, and I was just ready to go. But before that, I got in games, and I got to play with besides Alex and everything. Me and Voshan got in sparingly, so the moment wasn't too big when it happened. It was unfortunate, but I was ready to take the reins for Jared until he got back healthy.
Obviously. And about that bento stuff, we didn't have that fancy stuff when we were there, man.
Oh,
all we had was
Maui teriyaki.
That and a KFC in the hub that sold like 3-day-old chicken. That's it.
There you go, the hub. Yeah, I miss the hub. It's so crazy, man. Camp is so beautiful now. It's like, shoot, you guys really don't have this stuff now. They got Wild Wild on campus.
Oh, man, it's totally different now. Totally different.
And that's only been 5 years from now. So I'm so impressed with the university and all the development that's happened so quick.
So I'm glad you brought up Voshan Joseph, because the week after that South Carolina game, you knock off LSU in Death Valley. You clinch the SEC East.
Yes, sir.
You have 12 tackles in that one. But I got to ask you, what was it like to witness that brutal Voshan Joseph hit on the LSU quarterback?
It was great, man. It was great. It was a relief, man. It was like, oh, shoot, we're young out here. Tyree Cleveland, true freshman, run. You got LaMichael P. Ryan, true freshman, running the ball. Tyree Cleveland going 99. Me and Voshan out there as babies playing against, a highly touted Leonard Fournette and all those guys, whatever. like we were ready for that moment, and we knew like we're Gators, we meant to be here, and we just carried that swagger. You know what I mean? Nothing was too big for us because we knew we were Florida Gators, and like I said, Florida Gators are the best of the best. So.
Yeah, you guys had definitely had the swagger that season. You guys had a really, really nice season. You go on to face Alabama in the SEC championship game, and I got to ask, what was that experience like for you as a freshman going into the SEC championship game against Alabama?
It was great, man. It was great. Great team we faced that year too, man. They're well prepared, obviously. Shoot, our head coach was a wide receiver coach on that team, so great team, great tree. Obviously, going against a great coach. Defensively, we started off strong, holding our own, but man, special teams and their defense also too played a great game, and unfortunately, we came up short, but. A great experience as a true freshman, something that you always want to get back to, man. We got back in 20, and we just got to get over that hump, man. I feel like this team we have right here could do that. We just got to, keep chipping away and taking things day by day, and the Gators will be back in that SEC championship sooner than you know it.
The way you finished the season, it definitely looks like it's going in that direction. But
yes, sir.
And yeah, Alabama was a powerhouse, but you guys had your moments. There was a particularly awesome play. Zuniga blocks that extra point, and you get to return it for a touchdown. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Yes, sir, man. So it was funny, man. I actually had like 2 broken wrists at the time because I waited to get surgery. That's why I didn't play in the bowl game. But I just seen Zoo block the kick, and then I just see it go up. I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. And I had the whole cavalry behind me, man. So it was a great moment in my career that I'll never forget. And an awesome time, man. As a true freshman, being able to return the kick against Alabama, man. Some things that you just dream about. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is like I'm a Midwest guy, so the moment was super huge. You know what I mean? Because all you hear is SEC up north. I was just happy to be a part of it, man.
You end the year with 49 tackles, earned freshman All-SEC, freshman All-American. That's a hell of a way to start a college career.
Yes, sir.
Is that is that how you envisioned it?
No, I just let God take the wheel, man. I just knew, like I said, I just knew I was going to work hard wherever I got. Wherever I went, I probably surprised my parents and I probably surprised myself a little bit, but not really. I just knew I was going to work hard to get what I wanted. So I always stuck on those principles, and my parents did a great job of, teaching me those things. So I didn't really, nothing was too big for me, man. I try to stay humble and stay in my lane and just use hard work as the vehicle.
Did you ever have a moment where you were like, "Damn, this is really happening"? I'm on the big stage and I'm doing it.
No, I got a lot of swamp moments that's like, this is pretty cool, man. Almost made me want to shed a tear every time I hear like Tom Petty and
Oh
everybody
yeah.
turn those lights on, or even now when I walk back to the swamp. We had a scrimmage the other day, man. I'm just looking up like, man, I'm so blessed to be here, back here again, and it's just so beautiful. And I just hope our guys realize, man, what a blessing it is to be a Florida Gator,
I'm glad you brought that up.
in this moment in time.
I'm glad you brought up the Tom Petty thing because that is something, when we were there, we didn't quite have that. That came after we left. But I look back at, every time that happens, I'm like, man, I wish we would have had that when we were there. I kind of missed.
We were too early for that.
We missed out on that one. I wish someone would have thought about that earlier because that would have been awesome.
It's pretty cool, man. It is
pretty cool.
I got to ask, that defense was one of the best defenses in recent Gator memory. You guys sent 5 guys get drafted in 2017, Davis, Anzalone, Marcus May to my Jets, Quincy Wilson, Tease Tabor. What can you tell us about your experience, obviously, as a young player coming in with all this talent who go on to the NFL? What was that like for you as a young player, being around those guys, and what did you get to take away from that?
Man, they were great leaders and great people, and the thing they did is they always went 100%, and they practiced hard. And we were deep now, like you mentioned Duke Dawson, but you got to think Chauncey Gardner, C.D. Deuce was my class. You got to think Voshon, like our rooms were very deep. Like after us, it was Ventrell Miller, Mood Diabetes, James. Like we were deep all around, but we always competed, and they kind of took us under their wing, and it was just a standard of how we did things and a standard of how we practiced, and that carried us a long way. Like at safety we had so many guys. Like we had guys everywhere. C.J. Henderson, Marco Wilson. Like it was, then you got Kyer, then you got, so. We had the talent, man. Up front, you got Taven Bryan, you got Caleb Brentley, you got Cox, you got Kai Ply, you had then after that you got John Gennard, Zuninga. You had like we were loaded, man. We were loaded looking back at it.
Yeah, you were.
But it bred competition. You know what I mean? That practice every day was competition. And the defense, we just held ourselves to a very high standard. We thought we were going to be the best in the nation, and we didn't care about what happened offensively, to be honest. No, and we had great dudes on offense too, but we didn't worry about that. We just knew we were going to get the ball back to you. We're going to go 3-and-out. We're going to celebrate that.
Yeah.
We just wanted to be a great, sound, fundamental defense that ran fast the ball, that played hard.
Yeah, I mean there was definitely some incredible talent in those seasons. Unfortunately, the wins and losses don't kind of go the way you all expected, and that next season McElwain's let go. How did that affect you?
Oh man, it was huge. I mean, and people don't understand. Like, that season was lost in the off season.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure if we were at 100%, it would have been a different type of year. Well, I'm telling you that. I know that for sure. It would have been a different type of year. But that season was lost in the off season.
Why do you say that?
Like about the suspensions and everything that happened.
Okay.
During that year, we lost like 20 people. That were role players and vital to the team. So anytime you go through that, it's a big hit to a team.
Yeah. Do you think it was unfair for McElwain to take the fall that early?
Definitely so, man. Like and I don't know exactly all the details of everything that happened or what happened. All I know is if this team was at 100%, we would have been a contender. And that class that we would have had after that would have been contenders, like championship level team. We were one step away. I always tell people like it was us or Georgia battling the SEC. 2016 we beat them. 2017 that happened. So.
Right.
It could easily be Florida at the same position as Georgia right now. And also, too, you got to think what gives me so much hope and excitement. It's like, dude, we should have beat the Bulldogs last year,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And that just lets you know that we're coming and we're taking steps in the right direction.
That was where they started to turn around, though. Even though they came up short in that game, like the Gators really were playing at a whole nother level, though. From then till the end of the season, it was like night and day from the beginning of the season. So,
yes, sir, and that's so encouraging. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's very encouraging to see.
So you go through the tough times. 2017, you don't miss a beat. You have one of the greatest seasons ever recorded by a Gators linebacker, leading the team in tackles with 102. You become the third linebacker at UF to ever do it. Antonio Morrison twice and Spikes. But looking back, how special is that achievement to you?
It was great, man. It was great. So it's just about the company you keep, man. Shit, I see B Spikes at work every day, man, and we look at each other. We try to motivate these guys to do the same thing, man. And we got a great sophomore linebacker right now. We're the number 5, and I hope he could get in that club too. So it's just an honor, man. Anytime I could be mentioned in the name of a Gator great, man, it just brings a smile to my face and legacy that'll last forever.
Well, speaking of legacy, I love it when good things happen to Gators against Florida State. You get 14 tackles against the Noles to get you over 100. Did that make it all the sweeter doing it against the Seminoles?
Of course, always. And the hang 40 on them too, man. Our offense was clicking on all cylinders. Those last 2 years we played against them felt great.
Oh yeah,
it's always good to beat those guys. We definitely can all agree,
especially in a great fashion.
That's right.
Makes it that much better.
All right, 2018, Mullen is back. You're on all the big time watch lists for college linebacker, the Bednarik Award, the Nagurski Award, all those watch lists. Are you starting to feel any pressure at that point?
No. Like I said, I just like to play football. I didn't feel anything. I was ready to roll.
Well, you sure did roll. You suffered an ankle injury and missed the first 3 games, but still finished second on the team with 79 tackles. The Gators finished number 7 with the 10-win season and a victory in the Peach Bowl. Were you considering leaving after that, or did you know all along you were coming back for one more?
No. So my mom is big. My parents are big on that degree thing. So I knew I was coming back, man. There was no rush to stay in college, especially at this place, man. It's so beautiful. I'm happy these guys are getting paid now, so they can realize, how important it is to enjoy college and to be here and to grow up as an individual and mainly get that degree, because that's what matters most, man. That Gator degree means a lot.
You know what I mean? NFL don't last forever, not for long. You know what I'm saying? That's what it stands for. So
Absolutely.
that degree, that Florida Gator degree, is more important than all of that. So I knew I was gonna stay. Unfortunately, I got hurt. I wish I didn't get injured that year. I always say that. Try to rush back kind of quick, but it was all worth it, man. We finished strong. I just wish I was healthy for that Kentucky game. I tell people all the time, man, if I was healthy that Kentucky game, we probably would have had a different story that night. I tell people all the time that because it's just Kentucky. You know what I mean? But
Those Kentucky games were some of the best of the year every year. There was a good run
of
there, and it was
course,
like down to the
they're
final
always going to
plays.
play they're always going to play their best when it comes to us. They're always going to play their
Even
best.
when we were beating them 26, 27 times in a row, those last couple of wins, though, they made you work for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always, always. Shoot, my senior year, they made us work real hard.
You got 16 tackles against them that game your senior year, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Career
sir.
best. We'll
Yes,
get to
sir.
that in a
Yes,
minute,
sir.
but that year, your senior year, Gators finish at 6, 11-2. Mullen had you guys rolling again, and so did your defense. How frustrating was it to start the season, beating Miami, then winning 6 in a row, and then dropping the tough one to LSU and then to Georgia that ultimately kept you out of the SEC championship game?
Kind of frustrating, man. I just wish, like I said, SEC it's a tough conference, and like I said, injuries happen, man. But people don't understand, like that game, 2019, LSU had a great team. First of all, well, they say one of the best teams in college.
Yeah.
But we were right there with them, man. Without our two best pass rushers, John Gennard didn't play that game. Jabari Zuniga did not play that game. And I just felt like if we, like I said, it's all woulda, coulda, shoulda right now. But I just want to see like a Gator team at 100% could have competed with anybody 2019 in the country and probably won. Like we could have easily been champions that year with that caliber team. Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, Tony, Vance Jefferson, Josh Hammond, Freddie Swain. Like we were, both sides of the ball were loaded. Great rosters, great teams that played hard, but we just weren't healthy, at certain times of the season. But we still ended strong, man, and I'm still proud of how we finished.
Sure.
Well, you guys do finish on a high note. You beat Virginia in the Orange Bowl. During your career, you had 3 bowl wins: the Outback, the Peach, and then that Orange Bowl. Where are the rings today?
They're sitting at the house, man, with my parents and my family in Michigan right now. We're trying to build this Gator room, man. I got to get some more accomplishments with this Gator stuff, and hopefully we could get a college football playoffs and a national championship this year. I could add to the collection.
Yeah, got to grow that championship collection.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Gator way.
You know what
I mean?
What you can't have is this beautiful 8x10 that I got of David Reese, and it's autographed. And we're going to give it away to promote this show. So you can't have that in your Gator cave.
Okay,
Sorry,
I got you. I got you.
All right, so John mentioned it earlier, that Kentucky game. We can't let that go by without bringing that up. Excellent senior season, all SEC, leading the team once again in tackles with 94, so close to hitting the triple digits again. But again, 16 of them against Kentucky back in week 3, your career best. Do you remember them? Was there one tackle that was more fun than the other 16?
Definitely in that game. So we were down, man. We were down, I want to say like 10 or something like that. And it was like 3rd and 1, right? So we're down, it's 3rd and 1, I get a stop. 4th and 1. They sent a team right back out there, and it was so disrespectful. And I knew like this was to seal the game. If they got this, they could milk the clock, take a lot of time off to seal the game. And our offense just got hot. And that was the easiest one of the night. 4th and 1, to get the momentum back and let people know that, we run Kentucky and it's the Gators are here. So that was probably the most memorable one of that night, definitely. And I had my whole family there. It was a beautiful thing. I had about 30 people at that game because it was the closest thing we could get to Michigan. So my grandma was there, and it was a great time.
Very nice. You had mentioned Trask and Pitts and Tony on that offense. That was the year Felipe went down and Trask took over. So talk to us for a second watching that offense with those guys in it, from the sideline.
Man, it was great. Those dudes are electric, and like I ask Billy G all the time because I know we got some very talented wide receivers right now, and I ask him, man, how can you compare? And he's like, man, it's just a different group, but both groups are very talented. Like I said, Vance Jefferson, polished dude. Vance Jefferson actually lived in Michigan for a little while. Josh Hammond was a great wide receiver. Like we had so many. We had so many options. That was just fun to watch. We knew we could have a shootout with anybody. Like that LSU game, we didn't stop a soul on defense, but that offense, they couldn't stop us either. You had you had Freddie Swain, Josh Hammond, Tyreek Cleveland. We had great tight ends. Was a
All
a
world,
Gator
yeah.
great for Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
So we had great guys on the side of the ball, and Kyle did a great job. And he's always been a poised guy, humble guy. He just does his thing. Like he got an arm. He's a Texas gunslinger, and no moment was too big for him. Even though when he started, he didn't start for whatever years. He didn't care. The moment wasn't too big for him. He just went right in and did his thing because he prepared for it.
Very underrated Gator quarterback.
Yes, sir. He should have been a Heisman winner. I'm mad that he wasn't. He should have been a Heisman winner, but that's another story.
That offense was a lot of fun. That was zipping around like the old ball coach days. That was
Yes,
nice.
sir.
It was nice to have a quarterback airing them out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They like snubbing our Gator quarterbacks from the Heisman for some reason.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit about life after football. We've had a lot of players on talk with us about kind of the difficulty to adjusting to life, after, playing at such a high level and finding something that gets people motivated. Have you had any of that?
Not really, man. I just always knew I would do what I loved, and I was blessed to have the opportunity to. So, Coach Mack, man, took me back under his arms, and Coach Tim Skipper, uh, you know, been blessings in my life. He took me under his arms, and I got to GA at Central Michigan after I had a short stint on practice squad in the league, and so I GA'd there for a season, and I got blessed with a call to go to Indiana University, to work with the defensive ends, with Coach Tom Allen and his son Thomas Allen, and that was a great experience living in Bloomington, Indiana. I spent 2 seasons there, kind of doing the same thing, but I got to work with the ends and everything, and I was more hands on. Got to run the little meetings, and an adjustment was simple because it was like similar to the things I do at linebacker. When I was playing, so I got to guide guys and be there for them and be a shoulder to them. And then after that, I went to Eastern Michigan with Chris Creighton after we got fired at Indiana. Um, so Chris Creighton and Tom Allen have a very great relationship. They're both men of faith and great ball coaches. And I went to Eastern Michigan for a season. After that, I was blessed to be called back home, man. I've been excited ever since. Just thanking God that I'm back.
We're excited to have you back, and
absolutely,
it's taking a moment to look back on your playing career. 324 tackles in your college career. That the consistency, the durability, I mean, that is remarkable. I mean, it's just outside of the top 10 all time for UF. And at our school, that means something. That's like 100 years of football.
Yes,
a lot of great players before you. So that is epic. So,
yes, sir.
I mean, clearly you're very humble and you're very, we love the Gator enthusiasm, but what is it like to be among the all-time greats when you look back collectively at what you accomplished? How does that feel? You really are a Gator great.
It feels amazing, man. It feels amazing. So sometimes, when I'm walking the meeting rooms, I always look at that wall and, I'm just happy that my kids and my family, when I have when I have kids and family, I don't right now, but when I have kids, I'll be able to bring them back here and let them know, what I did. And hopefully I get a baby Gator and I hope he's a beast, you know what I mean? But just to have that legacy and just knowing that your name will be in the wall forever written in Gator history is amazing to me. Knowing that you had an impact on this bigger picture, man, in this university, that we have groomed a lot of great people, not just only athletics, but,
sure.
individuals, period. You know what I mean? And it's like, I always tell people, the beautiful thing about Florida is everybody you meet, for the most part, they're going to do well in life. They're going to be well off. And everybody you meet, and as far as athletics, are normally Olympians or, the best at their sport. And you don't find that at many places. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like our basketball team just won a national championship. You have people there that are Olympians. Our baseball team wins a lot of championships. I go to girls softball games a lot. I go check out it all because it's Gator sports. There's nothing better. Just overall,
It's
for
the
university.
everything school. It's not a football school. It's not a basketball school. It's an everything.
Literally, and that's hard to find.
Yep.
That's hard to find.
So, all your tackles, your accomplishments, your accolades, the all SECs, being team captain 3 times. Out of all your accomplishments during your time as a Gator, Which one are you most proud of?
That's tough. That's tough. It's between it's between the LSU victory going to the SEC championship and beating Florida State by 40 both times. I think
I
those are the
like that one. I
highlights
like that one.
of
Let's go with that one.
beating FSU by those points. It felt pretty good. Felt like I was at the top.
You mentioned how Coach McElwain brought you aboard as a grad assistant, Central Michigan, and you started your coaching career, and now you're back at UF as the quality control coach for edge rushers. And we know SAP
Yes,
and
sir. Yes,
Gums,
sir.
but, who should we look out for? What should we expect this season from those edge rushers?
So it's a kid, man, that I love to death, man, and he knows the standard and what's it to be a Gator, man, and that's Woods, man. Jaden Woods is I love that kid to death, and I think he'll be a stud. So look out for 15, his career as a Florida Gator.
Okay. We got the inside info, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You
I'm
heard it here
very
first.
excited.
That's the kind of insight you could find only here on the All for Gators podcast.
All for the Gators, Sid.
Hey, I'm only on the show. Don't expect me to memorize
You've been doing the
everything.
show for years, and you still can't get the name right.
And when you were playing, I mean, with your leadership skills and being playing for 4 years, did you feel like a player coach at all at any point?
Oh, all the time. Of course, man. I want to be able to, sometimes they'll pull me aside and ask me, how was it like, or what was the difference, or how did you guys do when you got there, and I just let them know, man, you're on the right path. You just got to buy it all the way in and just play hard every day. So, any questions they got for me, I'm open to tell them any story. I just want to give what I had to them and let them know what helped me be successful. Similar to the things I'm talking about right now, it's no secret formula, and I'm like an open book to them. But it's just really the work that you put in. That's what you're gonna get out. So we talk about it all the time, and I'm also always willing to work with them. So they can always hit me up, and I always be willing to do whatever we need. Especially for a Gator. It makes it very easy to enjoy your job every day when you're working for Florida Gators.
Was coaching something that you wanted to do, like when you were still playing, and that's something you thought about afterwards, or did it just kind of happen after you were done playing?
No, I always knew I wanted to be a coach, man. My dad was a high school coach all my life, and I just knew that once I was done with the game, and that's what I wanted to do. Like they always say, and it's so crazy to view this stat. Like they say, a coach touches like 5 times more lives than the average person does in a year, and that's true, man. And that's what coaching is all about, being able to give what you got, into other people. And I feel like our players appreciate that, especially being in their shoes, going through similar things that they're going through right now, and having played here and experiencing on the opposite end right now. So I'm able to relate to him a little bit on that.
How do you deal with the stress? Do you find it stressful? Because I'm coaching my son's little league baseball team, right? And they're totally different levels. I get it. But, we've practiced, we've done drills, I've instilled as much wisdom as I have in them. But ultimately, they're going out there and they're playing the game.
Yes, sir.
And that is stressful, man.
Yes, sir.
How do you deal with that stress?
I don't stress out about it, man. You gotta just give them all you got. You gotta figure out what type of learners there are, and you just gotta try to keep on giving them the same message over and over and over again, praying that it clicks one day, and that's the repetitiveness. Shoot, we only have 12 of these opportunities, man, and we probably go through something for 300 and whatever days, 40 something days. So it's
Right.
like, you got all those opportunities to get this thing right for those 12 opportunities that's guaranteed. So, you get kind of okay upset, but everybody makes some mistakes. As long as they're playing hard, playing fast, you can fix things. So the effort is the main part. Like if you do something wrong, if we're all wrong, we're all right. Like that's the key thing too. So if you're all wrong, as long as you're on the same page with the rest of the 10 guys, you will be all right. As long as you're playing hard, playing with that standard.
I got one more for you. How's Big Dez going to be at the next level?
So,
Oh yeah,
because we're all rooting for him, man. We are all rooting for Big Dez.
That looks like the solution to the tush push if there ever was one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And man, so I never got a chance to coach him, but I got a chance to see him at the combine, at the pro day, excuse me. and that's a big human being, man. And I feel like he'll be great. He can move. He can move now. To be that big and to be
Oh
able to
yeah.
move,
Oh
that
yeah.
fast for his size, shoot, man, I'm wishing him all the best of luck, man. And I'm wishing the best for, him and his family. Hopefully, a blessing comes through with that, man. And he's already getting a lot of a pub, you know what I mean, just being a big human. So I think he'll be all right. He'll get a shot.
I can't wait to see it. Can't wait. I got a couple of questions left for you.
Yes, sir.
So on your staff, you got Spikes, right? You got
Yes, sir.
Mike P.
Yes, sir.
You guys, like, when you're hanging out or in breaks in the break room, are you trying to one up each other with your playing stories? At all?
No,
A
man.
little bit.
No, man. Those are like my big brothers, man. Those are like my big brothers. You got three great Gator linebackers right there in the office, man. Don't get no
Sure.
better than that. So
No,
we
it doesn't.
always, yeah, we
It's a hell of a
always look at
linebacking
each
core you
other.
guys are.
Yeah, exactly. We could throw it back, man. If we had all us playing at the same time, we would have been a great core right there. That would have been something to watch. But no, man, we just make sure that we hold the guys up to that standard because their standards will carry through me. And like, shoot, I looked up to Spice even when I was playing. I looked up to Mike P even when I was playing here. It's like when we got Gators that's successful, that becomes the standard of how we do things. It's just that's what it is. And nobody's begging anybody to be a Florida Gator. Like we're Florida Gators because we love this school. You know what I mean? And we got a pride about that.
That's awesome to hear. And you played 4 years and you had your loyalty and dedication then. The way college football is today with the transfer portal and the NIL, will we ever see those kind of players again like yourself?
I feel like you I don't see that's a tough one. It's so many different factors, when it comes to that. But I do feel like we still have guys that do love this place and they don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I do, we're just in a different generation, man, and in a different time where, it's not always up to the kids. It's about age and so many different other factors. And I understand, but sometimes the kid's heart doesn't always tell them to do that. But, they got other factors that, control their destiny. So I didn't have to go through that. So I can't really speak on how, their perspective on those situations and just knowing that everybody comes from different backgrounds but you just gotta get kids that want to be here that are built of the right stuff and it makes sense to be here and they're in the right situation. So
All right, good deal. We usually end the show in a bit.
I'm ready.
We're going to ask you to do the Mount Rushmore of Gators linebackers.
Ooh, that's tough right there.
It is. There's many, and we got 4 spots here.
4 spots.
Who are you putting up there?
Ooh. All right, B Spikes. I'm Mike P.
Good start.
John Bostic.
There you go. That's a good one.
Definitely.
I might go with right now, based on what's going on in the NFL, I got to go Alex Angelone.
Nice choice.
There you go. All right. Giving Angelone some love.
What's going on right now in the NFL? Yes, sir. Alex Angelone definitely what's going on right now. He's done a great job, and I'm biased too because he put Detroit on the map right now. So
Oh, that's right. I
he's a
didn't put that
Detroit
together.
Gator reverse, man, and I'm so happy to see him doing that. He turned my city all the way up to the max. So I got to give it to Alex because he's been showing out. What a great career, and he's talked to the kids. He actually came back not too long ago to meet with everybody. Shouts out to Alex.
He's had a great NFL career. He really has.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What an impact he has on their defense too. When he was hurt last year, you could definitely see it. Aaron Glenn was moving things around.
Man,
But
he had a big impact on the community too, man. That's a guy that just did everything right. So
it's great to see.
I give it to Alex.
And great to call him a Florida Gator.
Yes, sir.
David Reese, thank you so much for taking the time, man. It's been such an honor and a pleasure to talk to one of the true Gators of all time, and most prolific linebackers of all time as well. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Great show.
No problem. I appreciate you guys.
Can I get a Go Gators?
Go Gators, man.
True to the orange and blue.
I loved it. That was one of the most passionate Gator fans. I mean, he's currently a Gator, but I you could just feel like every statement. He just loved the orange and blue, and I loved that was a great interview. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, he bleeds orange and blue, no doubt.
All right, guys, let's do our 2 bits.
Who's first?
I'll go first. We talk about the 300 and whatever tackles, almost in the top 10. If he didn't get hurt, he would have been in the top 10 all-time tackles at the University of Florida. I mean, monsters like Wilbur Marshall and Brandon Spikes and all those guys, and he would have been right up there with them. And it was a pleasure to watch him play for 4 years and have him, on our team. Thank you, Michigan, for for bearing him.
Yes.
But my 2 bits is when I asked him what, out of all those accomplishments, what he's most proud of. The fact that he said beating FSU by 40 2 years in a row, I think he said, or twice.
Great answer.
He was most proud of that. Oh, I mean, that is just music to our ears.
Absolutely.
Right?
Great
Absolutely.
It just shows you how much disdain there is. I mean, pure hatred.
And that's always good to hear.
Yeah. And they still feel it because that's what they're saying they're proud of. So that's
absolutely.
That was pretty cool to hear.
Definitely.
All right, I'll go next. We kind of touched on mine already a little bit, but he was motivational and encouraging for this year's team. And it's something we're all kind of starting to get that feeling that we've kind of turned the corner. So it was great to hear him talk about it so much. I mean, he touched on that throughout the entire discussion we had with him. And you can tell he believes it. You can tell he believes in this team. So I am very encouraged, even more encouraged after hearing that from him. Looking forward to looking out for number 15, Jaden Woods. and of course, also looking forward to watching him grow that Gator collection with the national championship that we're going to win this season.
Whoa!
I like it. Speak it into existence, Andy. That's a good. That's a good.
Throwing down the gauntlet. All right, I like.
Remember this episode.
Yeah, bookmark that. All
we need to get him more stuff for his Gator collection.
There you go.
All right. Well, to kind of piggyback off of Andy, I kind of like that this is our first guest who not only is an all-time Gator great, but is actually currently involved in the team, and it came through constantly, his motivation and enthusiasm. So, August can't get here fast enough. I can't wait to see it. So my 2 bits is he's our first time current coach, former Gator great on our show. That is a true friend of the show, and that's pretty exciting. We're expanding our friends and guests on our show. So my 2 bits is good job by us getting these superstars on our show. Loving it.
There you go. And did we miss that reference to Miles Graham? Did you hear that? Number 5 linebacker.
Yes. Big things coming.
He did reference Miles Graham. Man, it feels like it's going to be a big year. According to Nostradamus Andy, it's going to be a huge year.
I'm just piggybacking off David Reese.
Fair enough. I'll send him some of my Gator memorabilia for his man cave. Gator cave.
My Gator cave can use some stuff there, Johnny. You got anything extra you want to send home to Florida for me?
Yeah, when you learn how to say the name of the show, I'll send you a lot of stuff. How
That's
about
something to work towards. All right.
There's the carrot.
You got some basketball stuff you can get, so you just got to work on the next football one.
I am wearing my brand new 2025 Gator basketball t-shirt today. Thank you very much.
Too bad we're an audio podcast, but...
Well, I look great in it. You're welcome.
All right, guys. As always, been a pleasure.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.